Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Samuel. I'm my co-host Stank and Poppy Latte, and you're watching the Loose Cannons, brought to you by Saucin Wings, keeping Tampa Bay sauced up with the best wings, loaded mac and cheese, vegan and vegetarian-friendly options. Saucin Wings, stay saucy. Follow them on Instagram and on Twitter. They announce their location day to day. Check them out. Check out their food. Put on your Bucs gear when you walk up to them. Let them know you're from the Loose Cannons. They hook you up with a cool little discount or a coupon. So say hi to those guys on behalf of us. And also, check out our friends over at For the Bay Clothing. They're Tampa-based. It's all Tampa sports merch. Everything Bolts, Bucks, Rays. Check them out. ForTheBayClothingCo.com. Use the code 4TBLoose, and you get 10% off your first order. They have amazing stuff. Check them out. We're hanging out with our boy, the Iceman, legend Donnie Abraham. Rough rough Sunday, my man.
Listen, I'm gonna put it out there for everybody to chat.
Hey.
Go ahead, Saints fans. This is what sports is about.
Yep.
Let us have it. We're here to eat the crow. We talked a lot of shit. Y'all won. Good game. But hey, y'all gotta see us again though in December.
Yeah.
And before we get started, I want to thank Bootleggers. What a fucking party. Thank you to
What
everybody
a
that came
fucking
out.
party.
Thank you to everybody that came out. It was lit. My voice is still gone. We had a blast. Either way. For the Bay was out there representing. Blackout Los killed it. If y'all didn't hear Blackout Los spin, insane. And shout out to the Bucs. It was insane. It was stupid.
Yep.
It was a party. It was a fucking party, man. We had a great time. Obviously, the game didn't turn out the way we thought it would. And listen, it's still fuck the Saints. I don't give a fuck what they can say all they want. First of all, they're really, really bad at trash talking. Really bad. Seriously bad. Like this win didn't wipe out the playoff loss that you guys took in your own house, and then we went to the Super Bowl and had a boat parade. So fuck you.
Still retired your quarterback, and his last pass was still an interception. Sorry, and we won a Super Bowl.
We've been talking shit since y'all whooped us at Raymond James, so I ain't taking a break now just because we lost one time. Donnie.
We're not
Donnie.
Talk to us, man.
Why does it seem like the Saints defense has Tom Brady's number? What are they doing, man?
I mean, it was a rough one. It was a rough Sunday, and I feel for you guys because, like you say, y'all do talk a whole lot of mess. So now you got to sit there and just take it. You know, you just got to take it until we get to the playoffs. You know, but it's just for some reason there's always games or always teams like that. Everybody has that kind of nemesis, and right now it seems like the Bucs nemesis is the Saints in the regular season. And that's just sometimes that's just the way it goes. And we just got to chalk this one up as an L, and it doesn't hurt the Bucs at all. You know, so I think one of those things again is going to motivate them. I mean, they go into the bye week kind of pissed off a little bit, and when they come out of this thing, you remember what happened when they came out of the bye week last year? So we ran the table. So I think they're going to be motivated. And they're going to be looking to do the same thing.
I think the interesting part, me and Stank were having a conversation on Monday. You know, we had a little therapy session. And I think the interesting thing is it sucks for us as fans, right? We got to eat this shit sandwich for 2 weeks. But I told Stank immediately, after I said that, I said, well, but wait. The Bucs, those players, Tom Brady, Devin White, JPP, they got to eat that shit sandwich for 2 weeks too. And you play, Donnie. They're prideful, man. That's a rival. They didn't want to lose that game. They had that game circled. So to sit on that for 2 weeks, I kind of feel bad for Washington. Just a little.
Well, yeah, and to sit on that, I say because I've been a player for a couple of days. They sat on it for a couple of days. It hurt, but they going into the bye week. Yeah. They happy right now. They with their family. They happy. They're relaxing, and then once they get closer to the next game, then it'll ramp back up, and then all the anger and all that stuff will come back. But they suffered the loss. They feel bad for a couple of days, but again, you always look forward to the bye week as a player because you get a chance to rest a little bit, kind of regroup, spend some time with your family, and then coming out of the bye week, you ready, lock and loaded, and ready to finish this thing off.
I don't know, Donnie. Our quarterback was punching lockers.
You heard about that, Donnie?
He said he slept an hour that night. I have a feeling he locked himself in isolation for the next 10, 12 days. He's not going to see his family. Just food and water.
Don't fall for that BS TV doing, man. He was hot for a minute, But he fine. It's a bye week right now. That Joker, man, he probably partying up. Him and the wife and the fam, they probably partying right now because it's a
Having some
bye week.
avocado ice cream, getting
Now
risky.
he was upset, yes, but again, a day or two, and then he's in the bye week.
Donnie, unfortunately, we saw Jameis Winston go down with an injury. Obviously, we talk a lot of shit, but we never want anything like that to happen to any guy. Jameis is a guy, as a person, he's a great dude. So we obviously hope that he recovers fully and he makes a comeback. That was not something we wanted to see. But
Sam, and a statement on that, there are some Bucs fans out there that are doing some trashy shit, like some Saints fans did with Mike Evans' dad.
Yeah, man.
That does not represent who we are or the facet of Bucs fans that I have.
Not even close.
Not even close. The first thing I tweeted out was, it's fuck the Saints, but I don't wish harm or injury on anyone, specifically Jameis. We fucking love Jameis and we cheered for him for years. And I wanted him to be the dude. It didn't work out, but I would never wish injury on anybody. Not even Lattimore, that little baby back bitch. I hate him, but I wouldn't wish
no injury. So as a defense, from your perspective, Donnie, you go into a game, you're preparing for a specific type of offense and a specific quarterback. When that quarterback gets injured and gets taken out of the game, what goes through your mind and what happens? Like, what is the challenge as a defense when you have to face somebody that's slightly different or that's somebody you're not prepared for? Does it change how you approach things? Does it affect it? Is it a whole new ball game? Kind of walk us through that, because we saw the Bucs kind of struggle to adjust to him in the first half when he came in the second quarter.
Yeah, I mean that's tough because, like you said, you prepare for a certain quarterback all week. So all your preparation, everything is geared toward that quarterback, what they do with him, personnel wise and everything. So that's always the tough part, being a defense, because once that quarterback goes out, now you got a guy coming in that you have really no clue about. You don't know what he's going to do. So then it kind of catches you off guard a little bit, almost like a boxer who gets stumbled a little bit. If he get caught with a shot, it takes him, 1 or 2 rounds to kind of get the kinks out again before he gets back to his natural self. So that's kind of what happened to the Bucs. I mean, unfortunately, when Jameis went out, and to all those people wishing ill will on Jameis, man, when something happened to you, good. You can't do things like that. I mean, these guys, they work hard, they got families, all of this. You shouldn't wish injury on anybody. So, but when when somebody else comes in the game, it is a staggering blow initially until you kind of figure out how they're going to play with him. Because now you gotta look at Sean Payton. Okay, you got a backup quarterback in here, the third string. How are you going to call the game now? And as a defense coordinator, you gotta almost sit back and see what's going to happen and how he's going to play this guy. But he came in and played well, and like you said, for the first half, he was kind of picking the Bucs apart a little bit.
I mean, I don't think he did anything astounding. He was efficient.
They didn't have a receiver with more than 40 yards, Nick.
Right.
Nobody.
Well, I feel like it was just penalty after penalty, pushing them down the field. Right. And they were efficient. They were efficient in the red zone. Right. We couldn't get pressure. That's a problem. They were bringing blitzes.
We got pressure. We just couldn't get the quarterback down. That's
right.
And that's going to be
that was against Jameis, not against Simeon.
Simeon escaped three different sacks.
I mean, he came in and he was efficient. He made a few throws that he had to make. Like you said, the stats wasn't crazy, but he didn't come in and he didn't. I was about to say he didn't lose the game for him. He really didn't. He won it. So he wasn't a problem. And normally when you get a third string quarterback come in, he's throwing interceptions, he's doing this, he's making bad decisions. I mean, this guy was well prepared, and that's a credit to Sean Payton and his offensive staff, making sure everybody's ready.
But part of what Stank said, though, and I hate with a fucking passion when people do this, but I got to call a spade a spade. I have to, Donnie. 11 penalties to 2. How can it be so lopsided? I saw Vita Vea getting held all day. I saw our receivers, the Saints DBs do it. It's not a secret. They do it to every team. They hold on the first interception on Godwin. Godwin's getting held. Damn, Tyler Johnson's getting held by Tyler Johnson's getting held by Chauncey Gardner Jr.
He's not getting held. He's getting hugged. He's getting hugged.
Who then peels back as he's hugging Tyler Johnson, and Godwin's getting pulled back for interception. It was just way lopsided with the penalties.
I mean, unfortunately, it happens like that sometimes. You always I'm always, if something happened, okay, look at yourself, look at it and see what part did you have into this. I know one of the big calls everybody's talking about, I think, is the roughing the passer call.
They pulled the guy's helmet off.
I understand that, but at the same time, he didn't even have to touch the quarterback. So, like, why did he? He didn't even have to do that. So now you put the referees who's already been making bad calls in the game, now you put them in a position to have to throw a flag because you're touching the quarterback, which the league doesn't want. So everybody's mad about that, but I'm like, you know what? It's his fault. Yes, he did get his helmet pulled off. He did. The ref missed that, but he didn't have to add to it by coming 5 seconds late and bumping the quarterback. He didn't take him down. It wasn't a vicious hit, but he touched the dude. And we all know how our league is going right now.
And BA, I guess this coaching staff had warned them about these refs, the specific officiating crew. These guys like to call the roughing the passer. They are very protective of the quarterback. The Bucs were still, at the end of the day, I get where Latte's coming from, and I was there with you during the game, man. But when you sit back and reflect on it, you still can't be undisciplined. There's still pre-snap penalties. Those aren't on the refs. False starts, offsides, things like that we gave a couple first downs on. I understand the other side of it, but if you're more consistent with being a disciplined football team, some of that stuff kind of eventually levels out back to the mean anyways. But which kind of leads into my next question. Donnie, when you have a team that's struggling like this with penalties, what does the coaching staff do? I mean, how many times can you say that to a team? I'm sure they've heard it enough. What has to change? What does happen in order for a change?
Well, the players have to want to change, first of all. I mean, because we all know BA don't sugarcoat nothing. So he's going to point blank tell them, I can't say what he's going to say, but he's probably going to say, you MF need to stop doing stupid. That's what he's going to say to them. So now it's up to the players. It's up to the players to go out and be like, you know what, man, we can't do this. Even though I got my helmet ripped off, I know I can't touch the quarterback. So why am I going to go bump into him? I shouldn't do that. So now it becomes to the players, because now all season are we the most penalized team in the league? I think
we're second
or close to it.
We're second.
Yeah, that's on the players. The players make those mistakes, so they got to stop doing them, and that's something that I know they get rectified for the second half. Once they come back from bye week, because they're gonna have a sit down, they're gonna have a discussion, they're gonna have a talk. Tom Brady's gonna come back fired up and ready to go. So I expect them for this second half to be the least penalized team in the league.
I would agree.
I mean, the crazy thing is with all the penalties, with the turnovers, we had the lead with 3 minutes left.
Yeah,
and a chance to take it again. By the way, with a minute 49 of the timeout, which just doesn't happen. But I mentioned all the penalty stuff not because because I said before I mentioned it that I hate when people bring it up, but I said it mainly because we beat ourselves. Fuck you, Saints fans. You didn't win the game. We lost it. We gave you the game by being idiots.
And I think that's the thing with the Bucs right now. They're so good that, to me, they're the only people that can get in their way. And they're doing that with these penalties. They allow teams to hang around. They're allowing the Saints to beat them because they got a lot of penalties. I mean, the Saints did some good things, but come on. The Bucs should have won that game. You take away those penalties and a few of those calls, and they win that game easily. So the Bucs, to me, are their own worst enemy right now.
I do got to ask you one though, Sarah Sammer, because I was going to follow it up with this one. I see a lot of people talking specifically about the penalties and about BA. And listen, like you said, they're professionals, man. It's got to be up to the players. I see people out there floating like just dumb shit, like, oh, BA should find the players. This isn't college. Can you speak on that? Like, if a coach came in and starts, I'm gonna fine you up, like this. These are grown men. They have to want to change. You start fining them, and man, you lose the room. They're like, man, this is dumb.
Yeah,
this is not
how it works.
Yeah,
it's not how it works.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. There's other things that you can fine players for, but penalties and stuff like that, you can't do that. I mean, it's like I said, this is grown men we're talking about. They know what they got to do. If they keep jumping off or keep causing the team and keep having bad penalties, then you get rid of them. They know that. So they're going to straighten up and they're going to get right. And you see, I think discipline-wise, you see a better team coming this next half after bye week.
The thing, too, that kind of helps is that the Bucs have kind of been winning in spite of different things. They've won in spite of bad, secondary play. They've won in spite of not getting to the quarterback. They've won in spite of having high, number of penalties in a handful of these games. Now they finally lose a game where they're like, you know what? We clean some of this up. We probably win this game. And now they can finally, we talked about it. When you lose to us, it's magnified that week. Now they understand we cannot do this. Absolutely. We've been overcoming it and we've kind of gotten complacent with it. But now we understand we have to focus on this. And I'm confident that will happen. The same thing happened last year after that Bears game. And we also looked terrible heading into the bye last year too. It's a little bit different because that bye was so late. So it kind of felt like the team just could not wait to get that break, which they needed. But, in spite of all of that, how many times can we say that we're going to commit 11 penalties, over 100 yards in penalty yardage? We're going to have 3 turnovers, and we're still going to have a chance with 2 minutes left in the game to win the game, right? And then how many times are we going to say in one season that Tom Brady lost us a game? This is it. This is the only time.
Right, and that's
really damn good to overcome all of that and still be in position to win the game. That's
absolutely, and that's the thing that you got to look at when you point to what everybody wants to see. The young secondary. Everybody wants to see that. We can't do it. We can't cover. We can't do this. But if all those other factors are up to par, all the stuff you just mentioned, we still win this game with a young secondary. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, everybody's looking at the secondary and the injuries, but you also gotta when you have a strength and the defense, the strength of the defense is your front seven. They have to produce every week in order to help the young secondary. Well, they didn't do that in this game either because they allowed the Saints, I guess, to rush for 130 yards. I think something like that. That's unheard of.
Yeah. You
got to stop the run, do not allow them to run, and you got to get pressure on the quarterback to help the young guys in the secondary. So, when they get back to that, and they had a slip up, the front seven, it's going to happen. But they'll be fine. Everybody's talking about the secondary and this and that. Those guys will be fine. Those young guys are getting valuable experience right now. SMB and CD is about to come back.
Speaking of that, they put him on the 21-day list.
Right.
They broke the news today. Him and are you sitting down, Stank? Wide receiver 1, Scotty.
Yeah, I already know. Me and Scotty were talking about it earlier in the week. I knew.
How's he feeling?
I knew he was coming back.
They said it was potentially season ending, but he's coming back.
He could play this. He could play this week if we need him.
Here's the thing. The secondary didn't play that bad. Sorry, Stink. The secondary didn't play that badly, I thought. I mean, the majority of those rushing yards kind of came off of a couple scrambles by the quarterbacks. I know Jameis had 2 long ones, uncharacteristic against our defense. But other than the secondary, I thought didn't play that bad. We kind of did our job. Right. And if Devin White doesn't taunt on a 3rd down stop, that drive is over, and we probably win the game. It came with all the shit that went wrong. We still could have won that game without throwing a pick 6, obviously, because it wouldn't have come down to that. But things, the players are getting better. They're learning. This is not the end of the world. Go ahead, Stank.
No, I was to say this is on the defense just as much as on the offense. Yeah, Tom Brady threw a pick to lose the game, but if the defense stops the Saints on their final drive where they came back and took the lead, we win the game too. Mm-hmm. So it goes both ways. Both groups had a chance to win the game, and neither one could at the end. And the Saints had just a very, they didn't beat themselves. They were efficient. They moved the ball. They took advantage of our mistakes. Nothing flashy, nothing fancy. They did exactly what we thought they would do on offense, right?
That's what they always
do. Sean Payton threw his little screen game. We played really soft. I felt like we were playing off way too much, giving the receivers way too much respect during the game. But I don't think that Bowles trusts these corners as much as he just trusts our starters. So I don't know.
The thing you gotta remember too is that like Sammer said, the DBs didn't play that bad. Especially when you have the 3rd and 2nd string corners. Your job is to not give up explosive plays.
Right.
You make the offense earn everything they 12 play drives, 15 play drives, because in that time your defensive front is going to cause a turnover. They're going to get there. So those guys, for the most part, kept the ball in front of them, and they played solid. And that's the way they should play. They, it's going to be certain times where they have to be aggressive. Like you said, a few times they were backed off, and they caught the ball for 1st downs, but they made the tackle, so that's fine. You live to play another 4 downs. So So I think they did a pretty good job against the Saints and Sean Payton and his offense.
Dude,
but talk about that.
They held him. They held him to 159
why?
yards in 3 quarters. That's not. I had people like freaking out. We lost to a backup quarterback. We didn't lose because of Trevor. We lost because of other players on that team. We didn't tackle well. We flew by the quarterback when we did have chances. He escaped. I mean, it wasn't like he went out there and threw 4 touchdowns and 300 yards on us. He threw 50 yards a quarter, and we still should have won that game if we don't have a stupid taunting penalty, which is not the fault of the referees. Devin knows that.
Okay, let's talk now. My God.
My bad. I had to get that in. Bro. Sorry, I had to.
No, that's fine. Donnie, why are you playing 10 yards off the receiver, 7 yards off the receiver on 3rd and 5? What's the thought process there? You're just giving up a easy first.
Not necessarily. There's a lot go into that, and with us not being there, we don't know what type of scheme they were playing. If you send in a high pressure defense where you're sending 7, 8 guys, then you're supposed to play off, because the ball is coming out fast, but you're not supposed to give ground with it. So it's technique wise, you sit flat footed and you drive on anything that happens. So I can't say, because I don't know exactly what they were in. I don't know if they were sending pressure. I don't know if the pressure, because it depends. You send 5-man pressure, you can play press ball. You send 6-man pressure, you can play press. You can play more aggressive. But when you start sending, 7, 8 guys, and you're the last line of defense, then sometimes you have to play off, so you kind of protect that, either the yard line or first down. You kind of protect that area. So I can't say exactly how they were playing, because I don't know what type of scheme they were in at that moment.
That does kind of make sense, though. You play off, you play flat-footed, and if it comes out quick, you fire your gun and go tackle them. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Real quick side note, I look swole from this angle, bro. I look like I'm in the gym. I'm just like, girl.
Guys, this is Sasha's view. It's not pretty.
It's not good.
Just sweating all over.
He outside and hot right now.
I am a sweater too, bro.
Oh God, take a phone call.
Terrible, just dripping. Listen, Donnie, before we go to the phone calls, I was going to ask you. We've seen this team get to the quarterback and not get him down. Why? What is happening that these guys are just stumbling over top of themselves? Sometimes there's like 3-4 of them at the quarterback and they get away. And it's not like Michael Vick back there. Trevor's running away from these guys. Like, what's going on there? And are they too close together? Are they not running their games the proper? What's going on that they're not able to get this guy down, or any guy down?
I mean, it happens like that sometimes. I mean, you can look at discipline, rush lanes. You look at the film, you can see what was happening. But I mean, early on when Jameis was in there, he made some pretty good scrambling, some moves and stuff. And the good thing about, well, not good thing, but Jameis is a smart quarterback. So the first few scrambles that he did in that game, we were playing 2-man, which means everybody back is turned to the quarterback. Jameis recognized that immediately, and on some of those, he took off pretty quickly. So he was smart. They were smart, and mostly. You play 2-man when you don't have athletic quarterbacks that are run. That's what Patrick Mahomes is getting a lot of right now. A lot of teams are playing 2-man against them, where they can stay over the top of the cheetah, so he can't get the explosive plays. And they're forcing Mahomes to stay in there and try to make something happen. And right now he's not making it. So New Orleans did a good job. They did a good job of recognizing the defense we were playing in. They got lucky, like you said, stumbled out a few times. I think the play that Jameis got hurt on, they should have had him in the backfield on that one.
Yeah.
And he got out of that, and unfortunately he did. So he should have taken the sack, and maybe he wouldn't got injured. But
they have a good offensive. New Orleans has a good offensive line. They don't give up many sacks to begin with.
Right.
Plus, they were holding all game long, and they never called a damn thing.
And that happens every play, and it just depends on the crew. It depends on how the refs feeling that day, because I guarantee you, every single play there's an infraction. Yeah. There's an infraction on every play.
But the thing that's frustrating is that they're calling it on one side, but then they're calling it completely differently on the other side. You see sometimes in NBA games where you call a foul on one and it's not. And that's where it gets a little frustrating, and that's where I feel what Latte was talking about earlier. It's like, what the fuck? How is it holding on the exact? How is it the exact same type of holding on our DB, but when our guy is getting hugged, it's not even they don't even look at it.
Right.
And that's where it gets a little frustrating, where it feels like it's almost, I don't want to say, cheated, but that feels a little odd. That's all. And that's not an excuse. Yeah. It's not why we lost.
Right.
I do.
Yeah, that cockerel hold at the end, New Orleans was doing the same thing all game long.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
But again, you look at that cockerel one. I mean, it's again, it goes back to technique. It goes back to players, because the whole time there was really no reason for him to have his hands on him and ride him that long. He already did a good job at the line of scrimmage. Now you already have your leverage. Just run with the guy. So a couple things he did. Hands on the receiver down the field past 5 yards can be called probably every play. But the other thing he did was he had his eyes looking back at the quarterback. So tell me how you can run looking back at the quarterback and trying to run with a receiver. If his eyes is on the receiver, then his hands won't get heavy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. His eyes looking back at the quarterback, now it feels like the receiver is slipping away from you, so you want to hold on to him. And it wasn't blatant like anything like that, but could it have been called? Yeah. And you put that in the judgment of the refs, who's already been calling, flags on us all day. You put that in his hands, guess what he's going to do? He's going to throw the flag. When reality is, if you just do your doggone technique and don't get lazy with your eyes, you'll be fine.
Is that something that you gain through experience and more playing time, or is that something that you just got to learn in practice and just follow your technique?
That's something that he's a professional. He should know. It just, you get lazy. You get toward the end of the game, your body feels a little different. You get too nosy. You're looking because you think you're gonna get interception, so you get nosy. I mean, it's just a lot of factors to it, but it just comes down to discipline, from the players. And on that play, I think if he would have did a few things a little better, then he wouldn't have got the flag thrown on him.
I only have, and obviously you don't have the answer to this question, Donnie. I'm just putting it out there. One complaint, I guess. Why not any more Joe Tryon? And I'm not saying that he's better than JPP. It's just JPP's hurt. You could tell he's banged up. He's still out there being a warrior. He's a dog, man. But can we sprinkle a little more into the rookie? I know sometimes he's not setting the edge properly. I've noticed that, and he, let the quarterback escape out the side. But he's still explosive, man.
And he will get his time. I just think as coaches, you're comfortable with veterans. And like you said, JPP is balling. I mean, he's playing even though he's hurt. I mean, he doesn't practice during the week. Like BA said, man, just get to the game. We just need you for the game. So, and I think you just get comfortable with veterans in there. And it could be one of them things where JPP say, hey, I ain't coming out. I don't care what Todd Bowles, I don't care. This is my time. I'm playing. We'll get the kid in there when I need a blow. So it could be a lot of things.
JPP, he has that kind of pull. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The thing is that people keep clamoring about that, but at the end of the day, the coaches see him in practice. They see JPP, they see Tryon the entire week in practice, and they still don't think they need to play him more than they're playing him now. So you kind of have to just go with it. I'd like to see him out there more too, but what the fuck?
And I think his time would come as we get closer to the playoffs too. When you start trying to rest some of those veterans a little bit, he'll get more playing time, and then he'll be rolling once we get into the playoffs and things.
Yeah, and then in a close game like that, you're not going to get the rotation. You're going to go with your dogs, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing a good offensive line. You don't want to put a rookie out there necessarily against a lineman that knows everything, that he's seen it all. You want a guy like JPP who can at least layer some moves on there, knows how to get through, put a little bit more power in there. And if we're going to be honest, Tryon, in the few stats that we've seen him over the last couple of weeks, he does overrun plays. He does seem to kind of, open that edge out for the quarterback to kind of run. He does not seal and hold that contain on pass rushing down. Right. So, we'll see him. Guys are worried about it. Oh, yeah. JPP ain't gonna be here forever.
Yeah. We're gonna see a lot of him.
You guys noticed JPP started the game without the club, but then ended up getting clubbed back up during the game.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Bro, where the fuck are you? Are you like at a trailer park? What the hell's that behind you? What is going on?
He's inside with an outside.
You're in a trailer park. Are you inside?
You guys
but outside?
It
looks like you're outside, but
I'm on the front porch. That's exactly what I'm in. I'm on the front porch. Look, I'm gonna show you.
Oh, you're gonna mess up the framing. Oh my god.
No, look at this. Yeah, look, guys.
Okay.
Sit down.
Yeah, see, I'm outside. It's beautiful out here. The weather is beautiful.
Skeeters ain't getting you. Skeeters ain't getting you.
No, it's screened in, baby. Screened in. Come on, now.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Chilling at the plantation.
You saw me with the manatee earlier hanging out. No, come on now.
Wow.
Let's take some calls.
Yeah, we're gonna go to this. I think this is Corey in Nashville. Corey in Nashville.
The word of the week. Word of the week.
He's a pretty smart fan. I'm interested in what he has to say about this game. I know he won't overreact because we're 6-2 and we're still first place in the South. So, go ahead, Corey. You're on with the Loose Cannons and the Iceman.
First up, fellas. Hey, real quick. Just Sunday's game. I know the defense is getting a lot of flack and stuff, and rightfully so. But just like the offense, man, defense needs to get in a rhythm too. And we didn't give ourselves that opportunity, partly because the officiating was so terrible, but also, we had some self-inflicted wounds as well. So kind of messed up our defensive continuity that we wanted to come into that game with. Also, man, we all hate it with the Saints and we lost to the Saints. So can we kind of stop this narrative that they give Tom Brady problems? That motherfucker threw up almost 400 yards on number 2 defense, 4 TDs. The pick six was terrible, and the fumble, it happens. We didn't have much of a run game, and if you're asking a 44-year-old quarterback to throw that much, something's bound to, happen. We saw this story before, so I had an opportunity to win that game, which I'm excited about going forward. And my word of the week was it was going to be perspective. However, I wanted to change after listening to a few press conferences, and I'm gonna go with ownership. I thought Bruce Arians said the right things. I thought Tom Brady and the team said the right things about how we can't win that way. And that game was eerily similar to the Bears game last year. So going forward, look for just look for a better, a cleaner team. And pretty much my take, man. I know y'all got to be quick, so I gotta squeeze it in.
I like it, Corey. Ownership,
Corey.
Accountability. I like it. Corey always bringing the heat.
Always bringing the heat, man.
We're gonna get healthy. And we're gonna get healthy and look out.
Hey, Corey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you the type of teacher that when the kids walk into class in the morning, you got the word of the day written up on the I was gonna say chalkboard, but we don't use chalk anymore. I don't want to date myself.
No. I'm just one of the people, man. I really believe in power in words, right? So I really love words, so I use them for myself, man. Honestly, for my own self motivation and preservation, I use words. So that's why I wanted to just kind of add that little tidbit into my takes because I call so much. It's an opportunity for me to say different things.
I like it. That's ownership.
Listen, Corey, if you're gonna tell me you love words, man, you need to fix some of those typos in your Twitter.
Wow.
Well, that's Ebonics. And we only get so many characters, bro. So
I don't ever want to see a teacher writing the word should have instead of should have.
So
all right, man, you're a teacher.
Man,
you lead by example.
You're molding the young mind.
By example. Should have is should have, not should of OF. Cut it out, Corey. I expect better from you, man. Even though you're friends with Saints fans.
Hey, Nestor in the chat, chalkboard. Yeah, me and Stank come from that era. I come from an era with ISS. I had to clean the chalkboards and wipe down the chalk. And then write, I will not, whatever. I will not talk in class over and over and over and over and over and over.
I had to go to those too, and I had to bring my whipping boy with me, and he'd have to do all that stuff, and I'd have to sit down and take.
You remember cleaning the erasers?
Erasers, yeah.
I don't. I watched my fill-in do that for me.
Listen, I'm from an era where
I got paddled.
I got paddled. I got actually paddled by my assistant principal, and my dad watched.
Bro, they called and asked my mom permission. She said, "You don't need to ask permission. I'll sign the waiver anytime you need to. You do what you got to do."
You guys go to high school in the 30s? Where? What?
This is Florida, bro. Hey, Florida's different, dog.
Florida, bro. Hey, the assistant principal had a canoe oar with holes drilled in it. And you know what? I laughed. It was the funniest thing I've ever happened to me. My dad was so mad because I was laughing the entire time. I actually enjoyed it. I'll be honest with you.
You enjoyed it. Go to another call, bro.
Weird, man.
This is weird.
So weird. All right, we're gonna go to Lewis in SoCal. What's up, Lewis?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank Sam, Poppy, Donnie. It's really nice to have you on the show again, sir. Been a
Hey,
big
what's
fan.
going on?
I think when I first started becoming a Bucs fan, I think it might have been your rookie year. It was about 95 or so. So really appreciate you take your time coming on and talk with us crazy Bucs fans.
Oh, yeah.
But
Anytime.
as far as the game goes on Sunday, it was a shitty loss. It sucks to lose to those guys over there in the division, especially. But I'm gonna say a few things. But the first thing I'm gonna say to some of the positive things. I thought the offensive line was. I haven't seen what you guys have covered so far, but I thought the offensive line pass protected very, very well against a lot of different blitzes, a lot of stunts. They were showing a lot of different stuff. The Saints up front, even the touchdown to Grayson, they picked up a really nice blitz. I thought they were probably the best part of the game that we had. Tom, besides the last throw, I thought he was really, really good. Rojo had a few good runs in there as well. The receivers, I mean, they all did. Tyler Johnson, Godwin, Mike, they did their thing. So those are, I think, some of the bright spots for sure. The negative things are, honestly, really the things that, things a lot of the players can control. I mean, the penalties. The penalties were really, really disheartening because it really took the game out of our hands. I mean, even BA said after the game, they've been harping all week about don't touch the quarterback after the play. I know the one on Golston, I mean, that should at least been offsetting because he got his helmet, ripped off the top of his head. But you can't bump the quarterback after the play. You just can't do it. I mean, Devin's taunting penalty. I mean, this guy's he's a captain on this team. I know you got to play with emotions. They're not robots out there. But you have to know the situation. We're trying to get back in the game. I think we were ahead at the time, and it was going to be 3rd and 4. And, the guy Ingram got a 5-6 yard run. You're talking in his face. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's not like you stopped him for a loss or anything. I mean, know the situation. Be smarter out there.
Rode for 5 yards backwards. Why are you?
Yeah,
talking
and I was like,
Right.
what are you talking for? It's not like you got a sack. It's not like it was a 3 or 4 yard loss. I mean, I love Devin. I'm his biggest supporter, biggest fan. Have not seen the splash plays this year, guys. I mean, it could be for a number of things. I mean, the way teams are playing us is different. I know for sure, but even last year in that Saints game, that was really his coming out, and he hasn't really had half of what that performance was in that game. I haven't seen no sacks, no interceptions, no forced fumbles, no big plays from him this year. And if he wants to be a captain on this team and he wants to keep chirping out there, he needs to show his production out there. He's not a Hall of Famer like Levante David. He has room for these type of games. Even Levante was playing injured out there, and he still, I thought, played pretty well. But, it was just a lot of the mental lapses as far as the penalties. I mean, JPP not holding the edge on that reverse. I mean, he just got sucked in so bad on that play. That was really, really disheartening. I mean, I think that was just the most frustrating part of the game because they didn't beat us. I mean, their offense literally did nothing. I mean, the worst thing I think we've talked about it the last few weeks has been the run defense. That's supposed to be probably one of the number one strengths of this team, that we're better than anyone for sure. And we've given up a little over 400 yards the last 3 games, which is, I wouldn't say necessarily terrible for most team standards, but for us, that's really bad. I mean, we knew they were going to be running the football. We should have been, I thought, more prepared for that. I mean, I know it's just kind of move on to the next one. It's just one game. It's not like last year we were 7-5 and really we have to kind of win out. We're still in a great position. We still got the nice part of our schedule coming up. I actually don't, but I feel bad for the Washington football team in a couple weeks because this team, I think after 2 weeks of sitting on this gut-wrenching loss against a team that especially guys like Shaq Barrett, just does not like the Saints, that they're going to come into this team in a couple weeks. But, it's a good time. It's a good time to get healthy. We're going to get CD back. I know SMB is going to come back. The rest of the players going to get healthy. Gronk, hopefully, prayers up. He's going to be okay. And, I just want to throw my shouts to, Jameis. I've had my opinions about Jameis and how he's played on the field, but I've never questioned him off the field, what he does in the community, how he is with the other teammates. I always felt like he's been a class act. And one of my biggest things was when come to Tampa in December was to see him play against us on Sunday Night Football. I mean, that was something I was really, really excited to see. So I don't know if I'm going to go to that one or go to the Buffalo game or not, but that's really all my 2 cents. And I wasn't also a big fan about the 2-point conversion play. I know you guys will say, well, worked in the NFC title game. Not every play works in the same situation on the same yard line. I wasn't a big fan of running that on the 2-yard line. I would have been more a fan of like a slant or a fade to Mike or that little leak out play that they throw to O.J. Howard to the corner. That's the play that I like. But it's okay. We're going to be okay, guys. It's not the end of the world. It's not like the game against the Bears. It's a decent football team over there. They're not terrible. I mean,
thank you, Lewis.
Listen, that play, if we score, everybody says it just didn't work. I don't know if the play call was wrong, what the deal was there. But
the defense gets paid to play. They made a play, and Tom Brady could check off the play if he didn't think it was advantageous to the offense. Whoever called the play, there's tons of people there. Fail safe that I would trust to change that play if necessary. It is what it is. Sometimes the other team just makes a play, man. I don't think we lost because of that play. Still could have thrown a pick six. Who knows? Great take though. Good points.
That was a phenomenal call.
Good points. Yeah. The one thing that he did touch on, which is something I forgot I was going to ask Donnie about, is Devin White. Devin White has, and I'm not questioning Devin White. I'm sure that he's still going to be an amazing player for the Bucs long term. But this year, he's playing with his hair on fire too often and too emotional, and just like he needs to be more controlled chaos. And right now, he's just flying around. Donnie, you played with you played with Derek Brooks. Derek Brooks is also a fast linebacker, but he wasn't ever hair on fire. Like, what do you say to a guy like that who's in position to make plays more often than not, and yet there he is flying by guys and missing tackles and just getting too emotional, too into the game to where he's not, playing smart?
Well, I just think as a player, you kind of know what you did last year. I mean, last year he was outstanding. This year you want to come back and prove that you can do it again and you can be that Pro Bowl type of player. And sometimes you press a little. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but just sometimes as a player you do. Sometimes you don't get the same breaks you got last year. So to us, it looks like he may be not playing as well. But again, and until we sit in the meet room, until we're able to break down film and actually see what's going on, we don't know what type of impact he's having, whether, negative or positive, but he does have to control the penalties though, the taunting penalties, and things like that. I mean, anytime somebody says, that's just him playing with emotion, I'm always, because I guess I'm a little indifferent because you can play with emotion. I don't mind that. But to me, is where you direct that emotion. Like, because you can control that. You're playing with emotion, you're fired up. The first thing I always tell my players is go find a teammate. Go find a teammate and let that emotion go out with him. Don't give it to your opponent. And so I guess I'm a little indifferent. I mean, I see guys like that all the time. I turned on some college film the other day, just looking at some colleges and watched some players, like after every play, these kids were getting into the receiver's face or doing something. I'm like, why? Why are you playing so angry? This is supposed to be a game where you enjoy it, you have fun, you compete, to your, best ability, but you don't have to play angry to me. And I guess I'm just a little different, I guess. And some people kind of confuse emotions with anger, with, emotionless or whatever. I just know you can play with the highest of the highest emotion without getting penalties.
It was an emotional game, though. It's an emotional game when we play the Saints. There's no love lost between these teams. It's not like Devin White's getting taunting penalties left and right. He is out there chirping. He is out there running his mouth. What has he gotten another one this season?
No, he hasn't. But I was going to say that I hold my breath every time he makes a player tackle somebody, because he literally stands the exact same thing he did and got called for. He doesn't get called for it, but by the letter of the law, you're not supposed to be doing that. And he does it every time. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to throw it. They're going to throw it. And then they never throw it.
Yep.
But this game, they threw it.
The difference was, yeah, he makes a tackle and he flexes. The difference was this time he did it, and and he was talking shit.
He trips every time, bro.
No. He does it every time. And I yell at him in Raymond James. I yell at him when I'm watching him on TV.
Every time,
go back
bro.
because he does it every fucking play. He'll make a 3-yard tackle on a running back, and he will always talk to him. And he did it to Kamara a few times before they finally threw the flag. It's like, dude, they've let you get away with it. They've let you get, and you know, Lewis said it. He's a leader on this team. He's a captain. Fucking, you got to start acting like a leader at times. You can't let the emotion of the game get the better of you, because that could cost you the game. That cost us a first down.
And see, that's what I don't understand, the players like that. I mean, I understand it's a high emotional game. I understand you're pumped up, you're ready to go. But my thought and my belief is always be pumped up with your teammates. So you can fly in and make a tackle and blow somebody up and then go jump and flex with your teammate as opposed to directing it to an opponent. You know, that's the part I don't understand. Yeah. Because to me,
but Donnie, you played with one of the biggest shit talkers on the face of the planet, Warren Sapp. He wasn't out there running his mouth after plays. He wasn't out there talking.
I'm not saying they're not running. Yeah. I'm not saying they're not running their mouth. As me personally, I just don't understand that, because I don't care. Everybody's different. Some players run their mouth. Some players turn around and walk back to the huddle. Some players, you know, have to do a dance and run 15 yards when they make a play. You know, it's just everybody's different. That's what make the fans want to watch football. You know, my thing is, why did you have to direct it to an opponent? Mm-hmm. You know, so I just look at it from different views. You know, I look at a guy, he makes a pass breakup, and then he runs 15 yards doing circles and stuff. You know, to me, that's a selfish act, because it's like you're trying to put all eyes on you. And I'm like, guess what, dude? Everybody just saw you made that play. So you don't have to put extra eyes on you. Mm-hmm. You know, and I guess I'm a little different. I was always one of the ones that, you know,
Barry Sanders, hand the ball to the ref.
Right. Don't rock the boat, or don't waken the sleeping giant. You know, one of the times, you never know, one of them times you taunt somebody, you may wake that dude up, and then you might be in for the rest of the game. So I'm always like, if you got the stick, just keep beating him silently, and don't stir him up. Just keep having him looking at you. Why you still hitting me? Why you still hitting me? You ain't got to be getting all in his face and be like, get out, I'm gonna hit you again. Like, no, because then you're gonna wake him up.
It's better than Vernon Hargreaves, because you talked about a DB breaking up the pass. He wouldn't even break it up. The receiver would drop it, and he'd run around.
He would.
And he'd run around. Oh, I hate that.
What did you do? He dropped it. What are you doing?
To the Saints fans, to the Saints fans in the chat too, and King Cook, talking about we lost to Trevor Siemian. You guys, in November of 2016, the Denver Broncos trotted out one Trevor Siemian who beat Drew Brees and the Saints.
Yeah,
and he threw for over 350 yards. So
he did.
Don't fucking say, "Oh, imagine losing to Trevor Siemian." Yeah, you don't have to imagine. Just go look back in your own fucking history books.
Can you elaborate again, Donnie, on the fact that we were not prepared for him? We were prepared for Jameis, the entire game plan, and I don't give a shit. Donnie,
hold on a second.
These are all NFL players, guys, not college players. They're all NFL players.
You realize, laughing at us saying, "Oh, you guys lost to Trevor Siemian." That's your starting quarterback. You're basically saying he ain't shit. That's who you got now.
They don't know. It's Taysom Hill. It's Taysom Hill, bro.
Dude, the irony with their trash talk is beyond belief. They're mad that Antoine Winfield did the eating the W thing, and they thought it was directed. They thought it was directed at Jameis after he would have been hurt, which I'm positive it wasn't, because we know that guy. He's not like that. They were doing it towards the team. The Saints have been doing that with Jameis, and they did it in our stadium last year. But they're defending the fucking the celebration of eating the W, who Jameis Winston debuted that motherfucker at their fucking stadium when he was a Bucs fan. When he was a Bucs player. And they made fun of us for an entire season on it. Yeah. I mean, these guys, they fucking tell on themselves. Imagine losing to Trevor Siemian. You did, motherfuckers. And he whooped your ass. We lost because we couldn't fucking get out of our own way. Shit. Get so goddamn worked up. And listen, man, they didn't care about us. They don't ever think about us, but they had a slumber party in my mentions that night. Whew, I did not check Twitter that night.
They're still here. And they're still here.
We've been talking so much shit since we lost at Raymond James.
What's their favorite? What's their favorite thing to tell us? Rent free.
Rent free.
Yeah.
They're They're basically paying me to fucking talk to me.
But hey, it's
got one more
9
call.
o'clock. It's 9:05, and they're in our chat.
I mean, they're hanging out. There's a smart one in there though. Saint. He's like,
No Saint is legit. No Saint is legit. But it's like, wait, what?
I know we don't got Donnie for too long, so I got one more caller here. I think this is Zach in West Virginia. Go to 678.
My phone's about to die.
678. Oh, this is Mr. Smitty. What's up, Smitty?
Hey, what's Smitty, man? I'll make this real short, man. The word of the day is called discipline, man. The way we look, man, we should have came down. We should have played that game like we were like the Navy SEALs. Pay attention to detail. Don't say nothing. Keep your mouth closed, and let's get this game and get out of it. We're already in a hostile situation. I know people that went to games, it was so loud the building was shaking. We got to get more discipline. I'm not mad. In the words of Jay-Z, the worst of times is the best of times. We got a whole week off. We need to go back to the drawing board. BA can only tell grown man what to do so long. Another, what's his name about to come? Dalvin Cook. Dalvin, bruh, sometimes I know you got to be like me. Shut your damn mouth sometimes. Don't say nothing. Play the game, man. You're tackling so high. You still like you still trapped in the Super Bowl. It's 2020 is gone.
You talking about
2020 is gone.
Devin White.
Yeah, Devin White.
You talking about Devin White.
Okay.
He said,
Yeah.
he said Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
I'm like, did I miss something at the trade deadline?
Like, holy shit, we got Dalvin Cook.
Like,
it's a wrap.
Did we trade
right.
OJ? We trade OJ Howard for Dalvin Cook?
Yeah, we could do that. But anyway, man, I'm gonna get off here real quick. One more thing, man. We gotta get more. I don't know. We gotta use our running backs more, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know. We got the running back. We need to use them more. Put some exotic plays. I don't know, man. We got a lot of work we got to do. But anyway, Donnie, nice talking to you, Limp Biscuit. I'm about to lose my mind. Salmon and Laffy Latte, man. I'm out of here. I'm trying to shut my mouth up now. But y'all have a good evening, man. We just discipline. We got to get more better, man. I'm out.
Love you, Pastor Smitty.
Pastor Smitty, appreciate you, Pastor Smitty.
Pastor Smitty. Hanging out with him in an ATL.
We are.
Yes, sir. Speaking of which,
it's only a matter of time. Listen, a couple points that nobody's talked about yet, and honestly, because we lost, we didn't get to gloat about it. But did Mike Evans just have a day on Lattimore or what? And he's just one smidgen of having a monster day. If Brady hits him early in the game, and he completely burns Lattimore there. Whew.
Oh, and I have to say too, I must say, I don't care if we lost. Do we just show up to New Orleans and hand out stiff arms? Because I believe Godwin won the angry run of the week.
Yeah,
that was disrespectful.
It was.
He decleated a grown man with one, just lifted him up. Donnie, if that happened to you, Donnie, what are you doing when you go back to the sideline, bro? Because, I mean, he went airborne. He took flight.
Well, first of all, I said that was Derrick Henry-ish. Stiff arm.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, that was my soft play of the game. I mean, he just took the dude. I mean, that's embarrassing pretty much, because I guarantee in the middle of that stiff arm, the DB was like, God, I gotta sit in on film and watch this. Because in the film room, your buddies ain't so nice when you get stiff arm like that. They gonna be laughing at him in the film room and just going off on him. So probably in the middle of the stiff arm, he probably was thinking about the doggone meeting room.
Listen,
where he's gonna have to go to.
We've seen a DB in Tampa retire after that play. Literally, it ended his career. Chris, I call him Canty because he couldn't do anything on the field.
Are you talking about the great Chris Conti?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we Donnie, can. What you're saying is, Donnie. I'll say it for you because you don't speak like that. But what you're saying is, as he was in the air, mid-air, it all slowed down, and then he heard Morgan Freeman saying, "It was at this moment he fucked up."
Yes.
Okay.
Or it could be one of them things where you have the caption to be like, "Okay, how did I get in this position?" What I'm saying? It's like, how did this happen? Or where it started, where it ended.
or the want to get away.
Yeah.
Yep. So we can all agree that that's the Saucin Wings. You got sauce play of the game.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mike Evans, hold on.
Okay.
The rivalry's real. I'm going to say 1A, 1B. Mike Evans burning that little bitch Lattimore, just burning him. He burned him. He burned him 3 times. He burned him.
Burning him.
Yeah, but he does that all the time though. So the stiff arm was poetry. That was poetry.
It was poetry.
The other thing, did you see the passing game to Gio Bernard? We had that nice pass. Why don't we utilize that guy on third down in the passing game more often? That's one thing I think is just sorely missed.
How about the biggest run of the year is Gio Bernard so far? 27 yards. He ran it right up the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, we got too many playmakers.
We do.
I mean, it's too many guys on the field that can make plays, and it's only one ball.
All right. Only one ball.
Let's wrap it up. Take us out of here, Sam.
True story.
All right, guys. Friendly little reminder: we've got one more travel crew event coming up. It's in December. We're traveling to Atlanta. We're gonna watch the Bucs beat the shit out of the Falcons up there. It's gonna be a fucking amazing time. It's gonna be very, very fun. Go to loosecannonstravel.com. You are still able to make payments on this. You can do a 3-payment plan, 1, 2, 3, or 4 people. The more people you pack into a hotel room, obviously with a proper number of beds, and the less you pay per person. Check it out. It's going to be fun.
Sammer, did you confirm the guest for that yet? Can we release that yet or no?
No, I cannot.
I mean, that's important.
Not yet.
We have a couple special guests joining us in Atlanta, guys.
Yeah. Listen, I'm trying to get Andre 3000 and Big Boy to come hang out with us. It's not confirmed.
Not confirmed, but we have a Bucs.
Sam was like, "Why are you mentioning that?"
You
just told them don't say nothing.
We have a couple of Bucs legends potentially joining us. We're going to get that wrapped up. And guys, let me just say, on Saturday, there's a little game going on, SEC title game. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got some plans for y'all that are coming to.
Oh, do we ever?
I'm gonna slow it down for you right now. I'm gonna get real sexual chocolate.
Yeah,
we got some plans for y'all. It's gonna be lit.
There happens to be an SEC championship game going on the same weekend that we will be in Atlanta. So we'll see what happens. Donnie, Iceman, thanks for hanging out, man. Great insight. Every time we talk to you, we learn something, man. All these fans have always been talking about why are we playing 7 yards off on 3rd and 5. You just schooled every one of us, me included. Yeah. And Stank had nothing to say after you corrected him.
Stank was like foot in mouth. I was like, oh. Damn, Donnie.
Why they doing you like that, Stank?
That's how they do. Listen, I also want to leave everybody with this sentiment. We won 14 out of our last 16 games. We're 6-2. We're still in first place in the division. Enjoy the bye week.
Enjoy the bye week.
That, you guys, I tweeted it out. Do you guys remember when we were doing mock drafts at this time?
I heard. I was on listening to Sirius NFL Radio all day today because I was on the road all day. That's exactly what half the people calling in to those shows are talking about. you think that we can trade some of the picks that we, bro? It's draft talk already. I'm like, oh my god, that used to be us.
Well, it used to be flipped. It used to be 2-6 at this time. We've got a decent schedule ahead of us. We've got games set up for us to continue winning. We got Tom Brady, guys, is fucking psycho. He's gonna have this team ready. He's going to make sure that if they don't hear BA, they're going to fucking hear him. And there's other guys on this team like Levante. There's guys on this team that will JPP. I mean, you want JPP screaming at you for a fucking late hit? I don't think so, man.
No.
I saw JPP talking to Golston after that play. So I'm pretty sure that they'll figure this out. We're still winning, guys. We're 6-2. Take a deep breath. We're fucking fine. Donnie, thanks so much for hanging out, man. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the bye week. We'll see you soon. Get deuces in the chat, guys. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
The big deuce.